And then if we look at the oil companies and their push for burning up our planet, you may have followed the fight to block the Keystone XL planet roaster pipeline, and that's not dead either. So what do these things have in common? What they have is corporations have power, so we need to clean up politics. We need to get corporate money out of politics. And I got a book yesterday. Let me read the exact title. It's Corporations Are Not People by Jeffrey Clement. And this proposes a constitutional amendment to say that, no, when the Constitution gives rights to people or persons, it's not talking about corporations.
Well, the power to give corporations rights so they can then stomp on our rights, it's very, very frightening. And for those that don't know, you couldn't even have corporations in this country the way they are until about the last 130 years or so. Before that, they had limited duration to build a bridge or to do some type of program. And I understand a little company having a corporation so you can have different people involved together. But the idea of giving it more rights than the humans and then having these crooks that run it. I mean, take Mitt Romney. He's got most of his money in the Cayman Islands. And, he's running around lecturing everybody, and he's paying almost no taxes.
Well, he said that corporations are people. And someone pointed out that if that's true, he's a serial killer.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I don't want to abolish corporations either, but we must abolish the political power of business. In this country, it's taken for granted that powerful business has a veto over everything. And that means it's taken for granted that we've lost our democracy. No one should think about that without feeling disgusted and saying, this must be changed. Get that book, because he explains how it's not an accident that the Supreme Court gave corporations unlimited power to pay for political ads. It's the culmination of a 40-year or 35-year perhaps campaign for giving human rights to corporations.
It is very, very dangerous. And now those corporations are destroying our sovereignty, our local control. Dr. Stallman, thank you so much for spending time with us. And again, give us your website and any other websites you think are important for people to look at.
For free software, look at the Free Software Foundation site. That is fsf.org. And you can join if you wish. For my other political causes, look at stallman.org. And if you want to join our fight against digital handcuffs, DRM, go to defectivebydesign.org. And for the danger of ebooks and how they take away our freedom, look at stallman.org/articles/ebooks.pdf.
All right, Doc, thanks for the time. But in the final statement is, just reiterating, you think it's really exciting that there's such an awakening to the power grabbing of the copyright industry and the fact that Hollywood and others just think they control the known universe. And this has certainly gotten their attention. What do you expect them to do now?
They'll find another way. You see, whether we defeat SOPA or not, even if we defeat it, it'll be clear that we defeated it because the measures they wanted to take were going to cause tremendous damage to everything around them. But if they propose something else that'll give them more power but won't hurt other companies, they might still get away with it. So what that means is we still have a long way to go in building up our opposition to the point where we can start to undo some of the injustices they have already put into copyright law.
So it was just so ham-fisted and so brazen bull in a china cabinet they were unable to get it, but they will come back. And it does show how, remember 5 years ago when McCain said, let's pass a bill where no judge, no jury, no proof, we just kill your computer? if we think you did something copyright. I mean, this is overthrowing our entire Magna Carta, our entire Constitution. I mean, it's tyrannical on its face, Doc.
Absolutely. But that's what big business is like. Big business just wants power and has no respect for anything. Wow.
Well, I look forward to speaking to you again. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Happy hacking, and thanks for giving me the chance.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. What an interesting fellow. Wow. That was a very powerful interview. Went a little bit longer than I intended it to. We got a lot to cover, but it's important. Now, I'm not going to have time to air all of this. It's 15 minutes long. It's up at Infowars.com, but I want to play it here on the radio. Viral video, resistance is victory, the tide is turning. And I go through a lot of the solutions, but one that I don't cover here is the biggest solution and the biggest victory. And that is that the awakening is viral right now. People are really starting to understand with the passage of the NDAA and the rest of it. Look at the support of Ron Paul. Look at the so-called mainstream media losing almost all its viewers and listeners. They're in implosion. They're in free fall. That's what this SOPA thing's about. That's a big part of it. That's why the mainstream corporate prostitutes endorsed it. The system is scared. They built this whole grid to surveil us. It's backfired on them. And I'm not saying we're even winning the fight. We're in the fight. I agree with Dr. Stallman, who was on. He said this is we're really starting to see humanity get in the fight. And you're really starting to see humanity wake up that all is not well in the state of Denmark, as Shakespeare would say. And so it's very, very exciting. So all of you need to realize the internet is still somewhat free. We still have the power of free speech until the big false flag or the war with Iran and all the other garbage coming down the pike. If we speak out now, while the sun shines, the globalists may back off. I know they may slow down. Things won't go as well for them. So now is the time like never before. While we've still got the internet, while so many people are listening, while so many people understand what's happening, to gain the initiative, which we're starting to get, and turn this around. So here is our report. Aaron Dykes put this together. Amazing job, Aaron. And the article and video is at Infowars.com. Please get it and get it out to everyone you know. It's titled, Resistance is Victory. The Tide is Turning. We'll play part of it, go to break, come back and play the rest. And then Wayne Paul, brother of Ron Paul, is coming up talking about the incredible election fraud now coming out. Confirmed, we told you so. They're throwing out the election results in Iowa, and they're not saying what that means. So now I guess they'll just admit fraud in states and then give it to Santorum or Romney. Well, there's fraud, but we say it's them. We had a good old boy meeting, and what did Karl Rove say? And just, had a gentleman's agreement. Let's go ahead and go to this video. It's up to you if this gets out to everybody. Here it is.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Resistance is victory. That simple initial decision to stand up and to get involved and to take action is the most important decision you can make, because from that flows all other major actions in the fight for freedom and human dignity worldwide. But you first got to get angry, you've got to get focused, and you've got to get engaged. The world is at a crossroads. We have a decision to make. No one can deny anymore that tyranny is growing and casting its long, dark shadow across not just the United States, but worldwide. But in the midst of all of this, and as we move deeper into 2012, it is important to realize the incredible successes, complete and partial, that we've had against tyranny. These are just a few in the last year. In fact, after you're done watching this video, I would ask you to post comments with points that you believe have been victories so we can make a part 2 video. But here are just some of them. The SOPA bill, or Stopping Online Piracy Act, which is really just a Trojan horse, as the inventors of the internet and many others went public and documented, to shut down free speech and to allow giant corporate monoliths to basically carve up the internet and take it over for their own uses and shut down their competition. But you saw the GoDaddy protest. that caused hundreds of thousands of their customers to leave them. Many of the big internet companies and smaller ones as well, led by Reddit and others, saying that they were going to basically black out their websites to protest the fact that this SOPA bill is a free speech killing system. And now, because of the actions that you and others took, the system, who just a few weeks ago was very arrogant and said, resistance is futile, we're going to pass this, we've got hundreds more votes than we need in the House, suddenly it's crumbled, and they're saying, okay, we're shelving it for now. And they hope that later you'll go back to sleep, that they can repackage their lies and bring it back forward. But the point here is, when we take action and when the people stand up for basic fundamental rights, the system and the oligarchs that control it are brought to their knees. So a big victory in early 2012 against something the system told us was a foregone conclusion. They don't just stop there trying to craft our reality. They've told us for a year that Ron Paul cannot win, that no one would vote for him, that he wasn't even a real candidate, that there was no way he could ever come in third, fourth, fifth place, much less second in New Hampshire, and a statistical dead heat in Iowa. But despite the entire dinosaur whore media, the zombie control media, telling you he can't win and excluding him from debates and giving him 89 seconds in other debates and all the demonization and all the dirty tricks and everything they've got being thrown at Ron Paul, he is growing in the polls nationwide and is a very strong second place. Even if he loses, even if they engage in election fraud, we all win because real issues are being injected and a movement for liberty worldwide is growing. Ron Paul and all of us that support him aren't just an example for freedom here in the U.S. There are movements sprouting up all over the world. We are offering the alternative to the crony capitalist, anti-free market monopoly men that run our government and other major governments who are trying to shut down the true free market and destroy our private property. Ron Paul and his resistance and our support of him is victory. Let me move to some of the other big victories we've had in the last few months. All over the United States, from California to Florida, but also in Canada and Europe and the United Kingdom, major cities and towns are removing the toxic waste, sodium fluoride, and other byproducts from their water supplies. One county in Florida has 1 million residents in it, and the city council overwhelmingly, after seeing the scientific evidence, moved to remove the toxic brain-altering chemical from the water supply. Huge victory. For more than 60 years, globalist corporations, in a bid to reduce fertility, chose bisphenol A as a key ingredient in most plastics to reduce fertility. There were literally thousands of other formulae that didn't have the estrogen mimicker in it. But now, 60 years later, all over the world, businesses, corporations, restaurants are advertising that they have bisphenol-free products, whether it's baggies for food or furniture or clothing. This is another example of a human awakening taking place. And in just a matter of a few